Hey guys, it's Cody Louviere with the Youngsville Police Department, Chief of Police in Youngsville. You were here today with Louisiana on Fire.
What's up, Louisiana? Tim Davis back again with part 2 on Louisiana on Fire with Chief Cody Louviere.
Louviere, we got it.
1 R.
1 R.
Yes. So look, we're gonna go ahead and hit it. I'm gonna give you this one right here. It's a big, impactful question I got for you. You're running and everything, we know that, but you've already been in this position for a year now. And personally, I feel you're doing an amazing job because I don't really hear much out
Thank
here.
you, I appreciate it.
I feel you're doing great. But what do you think what's the best way to fill that gap between citizens and law enforcement?
I think it's communication and transparency. You know, we kind of touched on it earlier, but it's helping citizens to understand what we do, why we do it, the things that are out of our hands that we have to do. But also, I think a key thing is remembering that the general public doesn't know what we do on a daily basis. So we have to empathize with that and not be quick to get frustrated that they're not listening or they don't get it or you're not paying attention. You know, most police officers, not all of them, we have new police officers, old police officers, but you've been doing this for a long time. And something as simple as walking into a house to speak to a resident about a problem they're having, and we use terminology that they don't understand.
Yes.
You know, we take for granted because we talk to my general, you know, my zone partner, we call it, my police officer all day, and we speak in code, right?
Right.
Or we say codes, or we say things in a legal, use a legal terminology that they don't understand. And it's not that they're ignorant, it's that they don't deal with it. They don't get it. Just like if we walk into their job or whatever they do, we don't know anything about it.
Right.
You know, I don't know what bankers do all day.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah.
So it's to bring yourself down and humble yourself to explain to people, to take time to explain.
Yeah.
You know, police officers get wrapped up, especially at bigger agencies. Not knocking anybody, but they're so busy. You know, my guys are like that some days. It's just call and then you finish this call. People think patrolman's life, you know, and I thought this when I first started this job. What does a patrolman do all day?
Yeah. We just assume we drive around.
Right. But they don't realize, you know, with traffic details, you know, we have to work speeds, make sure people aren't speeding, keep that down, but also then citizens are calling. So now we have calls we have to answer, we have to prioritize. Well, if I've got 3 calls waiting for me to answer that I haven't got to yet, I can't even go patrol. I can't go check this neighborhood because I have to answer those.
That's true.
So just stuff like that, just a day-to-day of what we do. But and to remember, again, we keep going back and forth the things we touched on, but to keep in your mind that this may be this person's worst day.
Yes.
This may be the worst thing they dealt with.
Yeah.
You know,
and have that compassion and be
to,
empathetic. Yeah.
Exactly. Why? I always try to ask myself, you know, I learned this a long time ago raising my kids, and I brought it into my law enforcement daily routine. Why are they acting the way they're acting? Mm-hmm. Why did they lash out? And when I walked up to this house and said, hey, how can I help you today? And they just started yelling at you. Instead of taking it personal, which people do, humans, you know, and I think that's a big thing too. And I like to speak from both sides of being a citizen and being a police officer because you need to see both sides.
Yes.
But I think citizens sometimes too forget that we're human.
Right.
You know, they think that when you're trained, you're professional, you're held to a higher standard. All that's true, but we're also human.
Yeah.
You know, and we're just like you.
Right.
When we walk up to a house and somebody starts screaming at us, our tension goes higher, our stress level goes higher. And how do you respond?
Yeah.
Do we always respond proper? No.
Right.
You know, we don't. I've apologized to several people throughout I'm not perfect. You know, I've
Yeah.
had people yell at me and then they trigger me and I had a bad day at home and my kids were giving me problems and you know, spousal issues, and then I'll come to work and I'm stressed.
Yes.
So now I have to deal with somebody who's stressed also, and they hit that trigger and then they yell at me and I've yelled back. You know, I'm not above admitting it.
Right.
And now it's in a bad situation for everybody.
Yeah.
But it's that back and forth to say, man, he's human, I'm human. He's mad because he's been dealing with this fight with his brother all day long, and I'm walking into it.
Yeah.
You know, so man, it's compassion, it's empathizing, it's sympathizing, it's getting on that level to let them know, look, man, I'm a human too.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Right.
Explain it to me. And that's something I prided myself on in my career of getting to that level. I used to tell people this, and it's true, and it's not all the time. You can never say 100%, but I think in my career I can confidently say I've brought more people to jail and had them thank me after,
Wow.
because I treat them as a human.
Right.
You know, I respected them. Maybe there was something they asked for that I couldn't give them, but you can still give compassion to people and explain to them. You know, conversation we just had that like, you're going to jail today. Some people are just bad people. I mean, it just is what it is. Some people, I can't put this in a positive term and say, man, you're a good dude. It's okay. You made a mistake. Some people are just horrible, and you're not going to change those people. But some people, you just have to, I've explained to them on the way to jail, man, you made a bad decision today. Like, you seem like a good guy. You seem like a stand-up dude. You've never been arrested before.
Yeah.
But you're taking a lick today.
Right.
You know, but you made a mistake. Like, don't harp on this. Don't. This doesn't define you.
Yes.
But you're taking the ride.
You're going to have to take the lick today.
That's it.
You know, that's not who you are. That's a something that happened in time that happened to you, but that's not who you are as a person.
Yeah. And you know, with law enforcement, we deal with, unfortunately, and it's just the nature of our job, a lot of times we deal with the same people, the same, you know, problems day to day. But when you have the respect as a human being to relate to someone as a human being, that next time you deal with them, you know, I brought people to jail, and then 2 months later, I'm getting information out of them.
Yeah.
Because they respect who I am. They understand as a person that they can talk to you. Like, man, that dude, he brought me to jail, but he treated me right.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
So you just touched on something. I want to ask this. So you guys got a lot going on here as far as, you know, when it comes to crime and whatnot. So do you guys do the whole good cop, bad cop role and turn the light off and hit the light and does that go on?
You know, good cop, bad cop goes on more than you think.
Really?
It works, man. It's you know, I said earlier, I went to UL for a short period of time. Sociology and psychology were probably my favorite two classes. How people think, how people work, what people respond to, what stimulus people respond to. You know, that stuff works, man. And you sometimes you do it without even knowing you're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, give away all our secrets, but
yeah,
you know,
right, yeah.
But it's true, and sometimes it's not good cop, bad cop. It's what is this person going to respond to? And man, I keep tying everything back, but leadership, like it really all comes full circle of, you know, if you're dealing with a suspect or even a victim, because even a victim, you know, may not like to talk to you for whatever reason.
Right.
Maybe it's a female victim and you're a male cop and they just got beat up by a boyfriend. I don't want to talk to that man. I don't.
Yes.
But we don't have any female police officers working.
Right.
We may not.
Right.
But we may. If you do, use that tool.
Yeah.
You know, that's almost like a good cop, bad cop situation. It's man, why is she not? Ask yourself that question. And that's one thing we learn all day with training and the longer you do this job. It goes back to why. Why is this person yelling at me? Why are they mad? Why aren't they talking to me?
Right.
Is it because they're scared? Is it because they're frightened? Is it because I'm a man and they just got beat by a man? Is it, you know, there's just so many factors. Did they grow up in a culture where you don't talk to the police? You know, because you're the enemy? Is it that this guy that's sitting on the corner watching them thinks they snitching? So now you got a whole other problem. Do you need to take them out of that environment?
Right.
Do you need to detain them for a little while, put them in handcuffs, take them in the car, bring them down the block to have this conversation because you don't want them to get beat up by what? There's so many factors to it, but you have to stop by. You have to step back and ask the question: why are people acting the way they're acting? And when I roll that over into leadership, it's you know, I came up in a age in law enforcement. You know, like I said, I started 2002. Law enforcement was different. You know, leadership was different.
Yeah.
It was more of a military mindset of this is what it is. Old school, like we were raised, by our parents.
Yes.
They said go do it, you did it. You didn't do it
Don't
because
ask no
you
questions.
wondered why.
Right.
And generations change, people change, and we are in a different dynamic altogether today. And I think, you know, the angle I always take at it is what motivates these people. Because I can supervise you one way, and then this man over here doesn't respond to what you respond to.
The same way, right?
You know, this person might be a person that you have to be firm and not yell at them, but be firm in your statements and raise that voice just a little bit, and then they hear it and they go, oh man, he's serious. I need to pay
Right.
attention. But then this other guy may just shut down
Yeah.
at that. And I think it's incumbent upon you as a leader, even if it's his own partner and not a supervision thing, to know your people well enough to know what they're going to respond
Absolutely.
to. And if you could
Absolutely.
do that, and then you could move that into the streets,
Yeah.
and once you learn how people work, and I'm not a professional, man, I learn it every day. But in a 5-minute conversation, you should be able to figure somebody
Yeah.
out, and not their whole life, but
Right.
but what motivates them, what drives them, what do they respond to, how do they respond to the things you're saying. That stuff's all important.
Yeah,
It's
it
all
is. I
important.
like
People
so
skills.
You so do y'all do this and be like, because I mean, I watched the first 48. Y'all be bringing like food to them to get them to talk, or
It's a stimulus.
yeah,
It's a stimulus, man.
I've always wondered
You
about that stuff.
you comfort.
Yes.
Right? What do people respond most to?
When they're comfortable.
Comfortable situations.
Right.
If I'm stressed, then I'm not giving you what you need.
Right.
Now, sometimes stress does work for some stimulus. Sometimes if you raise people's stress level, they
break.
say things they don't mean to say,
Yeah.
or in law, when you read case law and things, it's called excited utterance. So their stress level's high, and they may say, "I shot that guy."
Right.
Not trying to say it. Their
Right.
mind doesn't need to say it. But investigations and you want to learn, you ask questions about like, what do you do as cop tactics or things like that, and psychology, how people's mind works. I'm gonna tell you, man, like I said, when I used to look for narcotics a lot, things like that, people telling themselves
Yeah.
subconsciously. You stop a vehicle, you have a conversation with a person, you know that there's drugs in the car. You can just tell, right? Maybe their criminal history leads you to believe that, plus their actions and their mannerisms. And I've had people on the side of the road where I'm talking to them and I'm asking them a question. I'm like, "Hey, man, we're going to give you a warning for this, but do you have anything illegal inside of the vehicle?"
Mm-hmm.
And when you ask the question, they're looking you dead in your eye and they're like, "No." And they'll shake their head. Yeah,
Right.
they don't mean to,
Yeah.
but it's stimulus. It's
Yeah.
they're stressed and their stress level, or they do subtle things like they'll turn around and look at the car like, "That car?" But what other car are we talking about?
Yeah.
But yeah,
You're right.
it's learning people, man. I think that's the biggest part of this job is you have to. I hear cops all the time, and I joke about it and say I don't like people. We all joke, but I love people. I love learning things from people. But if you're not a people person, you don't need to be in this job.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
I'm a
if you're not
people
invested
person.
in it, yeah.
Yes.
If you're not invested in it and invested in learning from people, then this is not the field for you.
No.
So
Man. So you've been here now in Youngsville. Is it? I hate to put it like this, but was Lafayette when you were in the sheriff's department? Was that more fun than this? More fun or
no, it's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
It definitely is a different dynamic. I always told myself, speaking from a young deputy that I was back then standpoint, man, I'll never work for a small agency because I like the running and gunning and it's busier over here. But the sheriff's office ultimately, you said like Jarrell Moss, you're friends with him, he
Yeah.
works for the city police. The sheriff's office workload is nothing like the city police. I mean, those guys I have the utmost respect for city police officers because it gets to the point where those guys sometimes, unfortunately, they're mobile secretaries. And I say that not in a bad way, but
Yeah.
they're just so busy and
Yes.
it's call to call to call to call.
Crazy.
It's tough, man. They have a tough job. The sheriff's office, we were lucky over there. We do the whole parish, so you have a wider area, but you're
Yes.
dealing with the outlying areas that's not incorporated in the city. So your call volume is
That's
not
the
as high, so
okay.
you have time to investigate. Yeah, so like city police just deals with the incorporated, middle of the city. Sheriff's office mainly, we have jurisdiction in the city, right? So we
Right.
can go into the city and solve crimes and work things if we have to or support them. But you're mainly focused on the outlying areas in the parish, we call it. It's the unincorporated areas, mostly country.
okay.
So I liked it there. I loved growing up in that environment in my work day to day because we had time to investigate stuff. If I investigated a burglary at your house, I wasn't necessarily. Some days you were. Some days you were.
Yeah.
You were just balls to the wall running and call to call to call. But other days, you had that time to devote to. I'm not going to send this to detectives.
Right.
I'm going to investigate it myself,
got
and I'm going
this.
to follow up.
Right.
I'll pull that video myself, and I know who that guy is because I
Right.
worked my zone, and I'm prideful in what I do, and I know. I took the time to get to know the people in my area, good and bad.
Yeah.
And I can point it out and say, man, that's Cody that did that. I
Right.
know this guy. I've seen that face before. So yeah, I enjoy it. But Youngsville, man, we're lucky. Our guys are busy at times. We have a lot of traffic, like you said.
Yes. Yes. Good thing and a bad thing. But
It is. It is. We have a lot of schools.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't realize, and I put pen to paper on this. The mayor made a comment one day about it, and I was like, man, I didn't realize that. So I started putting pen to paper. He's like, we have about 8,000 children that come to school in Youngsville on a daily basis. Not all residents, obviously, because schools
Yeah.
filtering, but 8,000. And he said, I think I'm going to quote him, I think I'm correct in this. He took office in about 2015. He said, we had about 8,000 people in the city then. Now we have 8,000 kids in our city, in our schools day to day. It's a lot. It's a lot of kids.
I only got 2. Man, having to.
It's a lot. So that's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
It's a big responsibility in the police department to keep with what comes with 8,000 students, employees,
Yeah.
teachers,
'Cause the teachers,
staff.
yeah.
So, we have more schools, I think, than any other. I think I'm right on this. Than any other smaller municipality in our parish.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about it. That is true.
Green Tea Linden, Youngsville
Yes.
Middle, Ernest Gallette, Southside,
Southside,
Arca.
yeah.
Arca's got 3 campuses now.
Yeah. That's where my oldest
Ascension,
Right,
there.
yes.
Ascension's the only school we don't have a school resource officer at. But
Yeah.
it's still more children. And I'll be honest with you, my numbers that I put together the other day was 70, almost 8,000, 75, 76. And I didn't factor in Ascension in that either.
Yeah.
I didn't even put that number in there. But it's a big responsibility to keep safe every day and to manage as a police department.
That makes me think about too. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and switch gears a little bit on that, but it's the same thing. The parade. How do you guys feel about the parade?
Man, hot topic for a while. You remember? I think it went great. And I've talked about it a few different times. I talked about it at our candidate forum we had the other day. There were so many things that went into that people didn't realize. I apologize to the mayor of the forum, man, because he took so much heat on that. That was actually partly my fault. He came to me when I got here. He's like, how do we manage this properly? Youngsville is an attractive city. Mm-hmm. It's an attractive city to outsiders. It's an attractive city to the residents that live here, obviously. So we draw in a lot of people. And I think Mardi Gras, I'd say it pivoted whenever, Martinville that canceled their Mardi Gras a couple years back? Mm-hmm. And then a lot of people, we pulled them in here.
Right.
I worked Mardi Gras my entire law enforcement career. My first 9 years of law enforcement, I worked every single Mardi Gras parade in every municipality in Lafayette Parish. I mean, we would jump between Youngsville's Mardi Gras, Karen Crow's Mardi Gras. Then we go to, who else had one? Broussard never had one. No. Scott had one. We worked Scott's, and we worked all the Lafayette Mardi Gras with city police.
Right.
So I learned a lot about how to coordinate, and we sat down, and I was the driving factor on changing the route, I'll admit it, and the mayor obliged. But I'm going to tell you what, man, this is, switch gears a little bit, that's why I love working with our mayor.
Yeah, Ken's great.
He's fantastic, and he listens to his people. Mm-hmm. He listens to his constituents, and he listened, he heard, and he moved.
Right.
And he called me. I mean, when I tell you this man, this was the Friday before the Mardi Gras parade. It was the Friday before. Him and I were on the phone at 10 o'clock at night.
Come on.
He calls me. He's like, hey, we're getting a lot of heat from this. How can we pivot this and change it? And he did. He put it out last minute. He goes, this is what we're doing. We made a decision.
Yeah.
We changed it again. But this is how we managed it. And this is what I saw. I took everything into account. And, we as law enforcement at doing this for as long as I've done it, my team is great that I work with. We have to take everything, not just whether you're going to have fun or whether you're going to mom's house to stand outside on the curb because it's convenient for you, right? Everybody wants convenience.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be able to walk outside of grandma's house and watch the parade and not have to drive or go put a chair. But the fact of the matter is, the parade outgrew the city.
Yeah.
We had the beginning of the parade touching the back of the parade.
Yes.
The big thing people are passionate about right now, kind of the hot topic lately, is Old Town, right?
Yeah.
The center of Youngsville, and a lot of people were just angry that we took it away from there. And I think we didn't do a good job. And I think, me and the mayor talked about we're going to do better next year of bringing stuff out and ahead of time to explain to people why we do things.
Gotcha.
And I'll explain it from my perspective why it was changed initially. We had too many floats.
Yeah.
For the size city we were, which caused the front of the parade to touch the end of the parade, which caused it to close. And where did it close? Close in the center of our city. So if there was a fire, if there was a medical emergency, if there was a problem, you weren't getting in or out.
Right.
There was no way, logistically, no way to get people in or out. What lives in the middle of our city? A lot of our elderly population. Yeah. A lot with medical issues. One of those houses catches on fire, it's done.
Yeah.
You can put a fire truck in the middle and hope for the best. So we needed to open it up. We needed to separate it a little bit. We got the pushback that it was for Sugar Mill Pond and it was for those guys, because that seems to be a focus a lot in Youngsville.
Yes.
But none of that was the case, man. It was really just to open it up, to make everything accessible. With my partnerships with other agencies and the friends I made over the years and the networking I've done, I was able to get 160 police officers here to make sure we had everything safe. And some people are like, it's overcome. Like, it's not. It's like you have. I don't like to throw out figures without knowing exactly, but I mean, you can fit probably an extra 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 people,
Yeah.
coming in here. That's not only our residents, it's everybody else. So how do we effectively keep them safe?
Yes.
So we did that. We changed route. We opened it up. We had more police officers staged because at the end of the day, you can have minimum police officers, but then you have to get to the problem. And whenever you have a route that's miles long, how do you disseminate that?
Right.
But it worked out great. And I said this at the forum, and this is what told me we did the right thing. Anybody who's anybody, you have people who are lifelong Youngsville residents. They know how narrow the streets are in the center of town.
Right.
My daughter goes to Southside. I had two kids that knew her that were in the band that came up to me after and thanked me. And it wasn't a pat on the back to me. It made me feel good for these kids. Because to hear something come out of kids' mouth like this, they said, man, last year we were so uncomfortable because when we got down the center streets in Youngsville, the crowd was pushing on us. They were touching us. We're trying to play and walk, and we're shoulder to shoulder with the crowd because you can't really move people back.
Right.
Once they're there, they're there.
Yeah.
That's just it. Until that parade passes, that's it. And they said this year we were comfortable. We didn't have people touching us and grabbing us. People drank. People, whatever.
Yeah.
They want to play the flute too.
It's
not okay, but it's the nature of South Louisiana and Mardi Gras. But that made me feel good. I was like, to hear kids that were like, man, we were more comfortable. We had room. We were able to walk. I think it was huge. I think it was a success.
Yeah.
I came here. I ran the numbers myself. I'm really hands-on, and I delegate a lot of things, but a lot of things I want to see and put my eyes on. I pulled every single call for service that we had that was assigned to our patrol guys. We had 20 calls, which we were out there at 6:30 that morning.
Right.
Until the parade didn't finish till I think 3:30 completely. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. I mean, we had one that was kind of sort of a serious call. We handled it well. Somebody went to jail for it. But the rest of them were inconsequential. It wasn't anything major.
Nothing major.
You're always going to have a few little fights and squabbles. You're always going to
when
have
you
a
got
drunk
stuff
person that
involved.
passes out because he's dehydrated.
Right.
When I say calls, that's the kind of stuff too. We had one person that fell off of a float when they were leaving the parade.
Yeah.
So all that factors into the calls we had. But it was a safe Mardi Gras. Everybody had fun. We had the traffic out of this city in record time.
Yeah.
In less than an hour and a half, we had all the traffic that needed to leave the city out of the city. I thought that was huge.
Right.
Because last year and the year before, last year, I was at the sheriff's office, not this past one, the one before. I was deadlocked in this traffic for 2.5 hours trying to go home. I was off that day. I didn't work any security and not thinking about what was going on that day. I went down Vera and I just got stuck in it. So to move that many people efficiently and effectively without issues, I think it was great.
Issues, yeah.
I think it was great.
I felt it was good. It was good.
Did you attend it? Y'all went to it?
Yes, we were in it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So this upcoming year though, the wife was talking about, what? We're gonna just maybe take our oldest, too. So we'll see, but it's a different feel when you in it.
It is.
And when you actually,
Yeah.
when you get to throw the beads and when the beads get thrown at you. So
Well, let me know if you want. I'll put you on the high water truck with me.
That's what I'm talking about.
We'll right
hey,
right in
hun,
front.
I don't know if we're gonna be sitting out this year. I don't know. I need my fix.
That's
Sorry
it.
to say it like that, but I need my fix.
Put you on the top. We'll have some bees and we'll have fun.
Man, because it's a different feeling.
It is.
I got two questions for you that you might get in trouble with.
Okay, let's go.
So one thing, and this is not even the can't be trusted yet. This one actually though. So is there a rivalry between the police department and the fire department?
Man, I went to a class a long time ago, and this guy made the most. I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble for this. So you opening Pandora's box
Lindy.
on me. It said firemen they eat till they're tired and they sleep till they're hungry. It's a fun banter. I'll tell you right before I left the sheriff's office. It's a funny story. You bring it up. The fire department on Mud by the golf course, right? We were working patrol one day. I was a lieutenant. I got my guys together. We had a felony warrant. We were looking for this guy. He was hanging out in the Simcoe area. We were helping the city police with it. And one of my guys saw him getting in a car. So we followed the car, ended up doing a traffic stop on the car right next to the fire department on the little road that goes into the golf course right there.
Yes, right. Yep.
We stopped the car there, did a felony takedown, guns and everything. It was attempted murder suspect. Pull him out the car. We get him in handcuffs. We get him in custody. We put him in the unit. Everything went great. We're waiting on a search warrant for the car because some other evidence from the crime possibly in there. So while we're waiting for that, obviously we had lights and sirens when we drove up and stopped them and everything. We're right next to the fire department. 20, 30 minutes into it, we're waiting on detectives to finish the search warrant, and the fire truck comes out, and you know how firemen are. They all go to the same place at the same time. They got to work together, so they were all going to the store, I guess, to get some food or something. So they all get out in the truck, and they drive the truck out of the fire department, and they stop, and one of them looks out the truck, and I looked up at him. I said, man, I'm sorry if we woke you guys up. I said, I apologize. Some of us got to work around here. But it's just, that
Yeah.
fun banter, man,
Right.
back and forth.
That's good because I know we got the volleyball thing. I don't know if you played with that.
They didn't do it since I've been here.
Oh, okay.
But no, they were talking about bringing it back as volleyball or pivoting to another sport. I forget what they said they were going to maybe bring it to, but I hope they bring it back. Man.
Yeah.
We have a great fire department in Youngsville.
Yeah,
We work
yeah.
really well with those guys.
Right.
They're always there to support us and help us out. We're lucky to have the guys that we have.
Yeah, it's always fun. And like, look, the other part I was going to ask because we brought up Ken. I'm coming for you too, Ken. But whose office is better? Because this office is nice.
Man, I think he's got me.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I think he's got me.
We want you to keep your job. I get it.
His a little nice than mine. I love my office.
Yeah, this is a nice
I
office.
do. It is.
So I just wanted to make
functional.
sure. Yes, it's really nice. All right. So Ken, you're safe.
He's
all right.
He's got a better office.
Yeah.
than me.
And, look, this one here. This is for the citizens right here, though. This one. Is it true that there is a window for the speed limit? Can I go 5 over and not get pulled over?
General rule of thumb. I think, and it really, I'll tell you this, it depends on what road you're on.
Yeah.
It depends on what your speed limit is, because when you start putting things in perspective of Youngsville is a unique dynamic, and let's look at downtown, like Church Street.
Yeah.
I mean, the school zone in Church Street is 15 miles an hour.
Yes.
That's slow.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of kids that walk to school. We have a lot of kids that come from that neighborhood in Old Town and walk across. So, and I say that to say this. 5 miles an hour on a 55 mile an hour road is not bad.
Right.
50, you're going almost 60. It's not terrible. 45 on Shim and Metairie, if you're doing 50, you're probably going to get that cushion.
Yeah.
But if you're on a road that's 25 and you're doing 30, it's substantial. It's really a big difference on a road with no shoulders, no sides, no, it's a question I get. You bring it up, but we have a speed enforcement program that our guys do that's, overtime for them. But I was never a big traffic guy. As far as writing tickets, sheriff's officers don't write a lot of tickets. It's kind of a known thing. We're not troopers.
Yeah.
But so whenever I got here, I had to kind of transition my mind a little bit because, Youngsville does write a lot of tickets. We're known for it. We get heat for it all the time.
Yeah, I got one. My wife got one recently, but this is good. We painted.
Look, man.
We painted. All right.
I tell this story all the time. I've told it. Transparency, right?
Yes.
My oldest daughter, she's going to kill me for this, but I'm going to tell it anyway. My 22-year-old got a ticket going to work at a Acadian ambulance the Tuesday before I got this job. Tuesday, she called me and she was just crying and she's like, I got a ticket. I'm like, please tell me it's not in Youngsville. I said, I just applied for this job and I'm trying to get it.
Right.
And I put in my resume and I've interviewed with the other candidates. I said, I do not need you getting a ticket in Youngsville. I said, with any other agency in the state. I don't care where.
Yeah.
Nope. It was in Youngsville. And I said, well, here's a lesson.
Yeah. Right.
She comes in and she calls me after I got the job. You obviously have a month, 2 months, whatever time frame is at the time to pay the ticket. I'm in office. I took my job here, and she calls me up one day. She's like, I still got that ticket. I said, I'm fully aware. I said, you're 22 years old. Handle your business. She's like, what do I do with it?
You're a grown woman.
I said, what do I do with it? I said, this is the most business diplomatic answer I've ever given my kids. I said, you have 2 options. You can either call our front desk and you can give them the citation number, ask them how much it is and pay it over the phone, or you can come into the front lobby and you can bring the citation with you and you can pay that ticket. And she did. She came down here, she paid her ticket in full, she handled her business, and then after she finished, and I was new here, I just started working here, so my people are learning me and they don't know my family yet. She asked the girl downstairs, she said, is my dad busy? I'd like to speak to him. And she's like, yeah, who's your dad? She's like, Cody Louviere. She's like, so she calls me. She's like, Chief, your daughter's here to talk to you. I'm like, okay, I'm coming. So I come down and she pops her head out of the door. She goes, she just paid a ticket, right? I said, I'm fully aware. I'm fully aware. I said,
yes.
we do adult things. We pay adult prices.
That's it. Right. Yes.
Man. But I say that to say traffic enforcement, speeding is hands down the biggest complaint I get.
Yeah.
Whether it's subdivisions, whether it's outside of a neighborhood by a school zone, and we try to handle it all. We deal with it. We'll put speed trailers to give us whatever you guys see. Little tip y'all may not know, citizens. The speed trailers you see with the speed limit sign, it tells you how fast you're going. A lot of people know it, some don't. That actually has a computer in it. And it calculates how many cars pass a day. That's why we move it and put it in different places when we have complaints. Also, the same thing does, whenever they put those little strips over the road.
Boom,
So that's a traffic counter. So it not only tell me how many vehicles passed, how fast they were going over it. Mm-hmm. It calculates the distance between the tires, and it tells you the speed you're going. So we use all of that stuff. We download this data from these computers, and it tells us traffic counts, how fast vehicles going, how many vehicles passed, how many were speeding, how many weren't speeding. So we use that in law enforcement at administrators. We use it for dissemination of resources. So if you tell me that, down Hill Ridge, people are speeding,
Yeah.
and it's all day and night.
Oh,
People
we got
always
people
speed.
running the stop sign.
We
Chief,
do.
I'm gonna let
Well,
you know. Yes.
we have 50 of them though.
Yeah,
So, but
man.
y'all tell me that we put those speed counters out there, but we can take that information and we say, okay, yes, we have people speeding, but it's between 3 and 4, right?
Right.
Maybe it's when people are coming home from work. So that's when instead of putting a police officer out there for 4 hours, running radar, trying to catch somebody, but there's no cars passing. Now we put them there. Hey, from 3 to 4, we want you down this road. Give it some love.
I got you.
Slow some people down.
Right.
So that's what we use that stuff for. It's all, again, tools. It's tools in our belt. There's a reason for everything we do.
Yeah.
But speeding's a huge complaint, man. We get it a lot. We try to minimize it as much as we can. A lot of kids speeding. Everybody's in a hurry.
Right.
Adults, we're all in a hurry. We all need
Yeah.
to get somewhere quick.
And then with the traffic we got, it's one of those. It's you guys in the situation, and then the citizens as well. Because we got a lot here now. I guess we just got to wake up earlier, guys.
You give yourself an extra. But it, especially coming from our neighborhood, Louviere is a prime example.
Oh,
there
man.
is a 10-minute window. If you could hit it 10 minutes earlier,
Yep.
there's not a car down it.
Right.
But if you miss it,
Yeah,
you're
you
stuck.
gonna be
You're
way
sitting.
back
You're
until you
sitting.
can get on, take that street to
Yeah.
get to Meadows or whatever, and then that's hell getting out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you really deal with that part, but are we getting a roundabout right there? Like, what are we doing?
Okay, so the mayor, I think I put this out. I think he put it out already. So I'll tell you a backstory to that I learned from city engineer and the mayor, because again, I've lived here for a long time. You're talking about four-way Louviere
Yes,
92,
right
right?
there.
If you remember when there was a two-way stop years ago?
I want to say, because now, it's kind of like a Mandela effect. You it happened, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, okay, so years ago when I first moved here, and it might have been right before that, but that was only a two-way stop. So
Yeah.
you only stopped on South and North Riviera. 92 free flowed. Lots of accidents, lots of crashes. So the way cities get, and I don't speak on a lot of city stuff because there really is a big difference between the city and the police department. We don't deal with a lot of cities, so they don't deal with our stuff.
Right.
But I'm learning it as I come through and dealing with government as long as I've been in it. Crash statistics. That's how we get funding for roadways. Whether it's crash statistics, whether there's no crashes, traffic flows, they do those traffic studies we were talking about. They had a lot of crashes there. So when you have a lot of crashes, if you have fatalities and those crash numbers are consistently going up. So crash reports, right? You've been in a crash before?
Yes.
You get a crash report. That crash report goes to the Louisiana Transportation Database. That's how the state keeps track of all those crash reports are fed into a big system, and it tells the state, these are the roads that need to be fixed. These crashes are happening because of this, what's the cause of them? So all that stuff is deeper than just giving somebody something for their insurance.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important that police officers do these things right. And what was the cause of the crash? Was it the roadway? Was it inattentive drivers? Because inattentive drivers, you're never going to fix that. But if it's that, so they looked at that for years and said, we need to do something here. We're having a lot of crashes.
Right.
So they turned it into a four-way. So we're going to make all directions stop,
Yes.
which solved the problem of the crashes. You still have some. People run stop signs.
Yes.
People don't let people go right.
Yeah, they don't understand.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Didn't yield to the guy who was there first.
Yeah.
But it substantially lowered the crashes there, which is why they left it for so long. Because their original intention was to do a roundabout, but you still have to get that money, right? You have to go out and get grants from the state or get that money funneled in. Well, they recently finalized the project and got the money. Like I said, I think the mayor already said in the meeting they are getting one. It's coming, I think, 2025, if I'm not mistaken, or 2027. God, I don't remember the year.
Yeah.
I think it's 2026, 27, if I'm not mistaken. But it's coming.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to
Be patient, guys.
It's coming. It's on its way.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be huge for that intersection.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because I know we got the one right here by Meshes coming up.
Yes, and that's going to go. Now that's going to open up all the way back to Broussard.
Yeah.
Get traffic free flow in there. That's going to help the people coming from like Fortune on this end that
Right.
have to come across. Now those poor guys are stuck at a T every day.
Yeah.
But man,
It's the roundabout poppy. I don't know. We're the roundabout king over
when they
here,
first started
Youngsville.
coming up, I said, I think they just went to Costco for roundabouts and got them for so cheap that they just said, we're just going to throw them
get one
everywhere.
of like Oprah. You get one.
You get a
one.
roundabout.
Yeah.
But man, I tell you what, working with this administration and the mayor and his people and the council, they are very focused on traffic. They understand the problems we have, and they're constantly looking to upgrade and better it. Some people just get frustrated and say
they don't
they're not doing
understand it.
anything, but they do a lot. They're
Yes.
always reaching out to get these grants and these bonds for these roads. It's constant progress, and these things take years.
Right. It's not going to happen overnight. And this is why, me and my team, we do this, because people get to when they watch us, they understand, okay, I didn't know that.
And one thing people don't realize about Youngsville, and look at Karen Crow, look at Scott, Dusson as well. All these other municipalities have major thoroughfares through it, right? Karen Crow has I-49,
Right.
Scott has I-10, Dusson has I-10. What am I missing? Broussard has Highway 90.
Yeah.
So you have these major thoroughfares for cars to travel and to get off of these side roads. We don't have that. We have 92, which is not a big road.
No.
But a lot of people just don't realize it. And Youngsville grew so big, so fast. What do you do with the traffic?
Right.
Put an overpass.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the
what
answer
can you
is.
do with that? I try to tell my wife, you got to drive around to find these back roads.
Yeah.
We've been here like 10 years now, so we have an understanding, but you got to try to utilize those back roads.
Figure it out. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But no, the mayor is also doing a great job, and they always keep forward thinking on how to make things better for our city, which does nothing but help us at the police department.
Right.
So everybody's got their part,
It's great. Ken, I told you I'm coming for you, man, because we got some more questions when it comes to
I'm
that.
gonna put a bug in
he
your ear,
knows.
and we're gonna get you in.
We're gonna do that. Now, this is I didn't bring the will, so y'all forgive me. All right, I don't have a great handwriting, and the person that does is having fun. So Tony, I got you later. But I got two. Then we're gonna make two can't be trusted questions. This is where we're gonna find out if Chief Cody can be trusted.
Let's do it.
So the first one, whenever you go to sleep, what temperature is the AC on at your house?
69 degrees.
69. Okay.
69 degrees.
All right. I can deal with that.
I tell you, my oldest daughter one-ups me on it, and she drops it to 68 most
Yeah?
nights.
Oh.
But that 1 degree makes a difference.
Oh, it does.
But 69 with a fan on the side of the bed.
Oh, you got a fan too?
I got a fan blowing right on me.
Oh, you just like my wife, man.
Man, I gotta have it.
See, look, I'm the type of person, personally, before I got married and everything, I can sleep with 70. I'm good.
Man, it's hot.
I can sleep with 70.
That's hot.
I got a buddy of mine, it's 78 at his house.
That's insane.
That's crazy. I'm like, what is wrong with you? But at my house, it's 65.
You might as well sleep outside.
Yeah.
That's
We in Louisiana. What
I
you doing?
I can't do it. I sweat checking the mail. If I'm sleeping, I gotta be cold.
Yeah,
it's,
right. I get aggravated if it's hot like that, but we sleep on 65 at my house. So you could be 69 is good. That's fine.
Man, 69 is 65.
Yeah,
I hang my steaks over there. It's cold.
Man,
I'm not mad
work,
at it though.
At work, I wear a jacket, but when I'm going to sleep, it's okay. But I gotta wear a jacket. It's like 67 at work. I gotta bring a jacket.
There you go. I'm hot natured, so I have to keep it as low as I can. But those ACs work different. So 65 at your house might be 69 in my house.
That's true. You get an insulation too.
Right.
That's the thing.
Absolutely. And your house was built?
Yes.
Yours was newer than mine.
Yeah, just a
Because
little
that little
bit.
section was built a couple years after mine was
Yeah,
there.
we got a lot
I
of
used to be
heat.
able to look out of my back. So my back patio faces you guys' houses up there.
Come on.
So I used to have a nice, beautiful nothing
we
to look
messed
at.
it all
Now
up.
y'all messed up my view. Y'all just got houses.
Yeah.
And,
it's pretty busy back there.
it
Man,
is.
Halloween's coming up, so I'm gonna have to hit you up when it comes to the neighborhood too. Which houses are good, so my girls can get some good candy.
That's it, man. We get a big draw in our neighborhood for Halloween.
It's crazy. The last couple of years have been a little where I'm at. It's been a little bit slow, but your part is like
we get a lot. I always tell people, like, my cousin brings their kids to our neighborhood for Halloween. And I'm like, man, you have to get here by this time because you're not getting in or out of that neighborhood after that.
Yeah, I understand.
We're always out. Youngsville Police Department, Halloween, we're always out in full force. We make it kind of a mandatory thing for our guys to work, and we all delegate neighborhoods for our guys to patrol just to make sure everything's going well for our citizens. It's important to us with so many kids on the road.
Right. It can get crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did have this other one for you. I don't know if you are this type of guy, and you might be. Are you a wing guy?
Wings?
Yeah.
I love wings.
You like wings?
I love wings.
Drums or flats? What you going with?
Man, I love flats.
Yeah?
I do.
Boom! That's my
flats.
man right there.
I love
Cool.
flats.
Yes, I like flats.
So we talked about Baton Rouge earlier.
Yes.
You ever ate at Pluckers?
Yes.
I love Pluckers.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
I just found out about this place about a year and a half
Come
ago.
on.
I had no idea.
Well, I'm about to hurt your feelings though. Pluckers is good, but you need to go to Blue Stove.
What is this?
Blue Stove. It's
Baton
Blue-
Rouge?
Yep. Okay. We call it Blue Stove because you know how we talk down here.
Right,
so
right.
it's the Blue Store. So off of Southern's campus,
Okay.
it's Blue Store. It's blue. The building's blue.
Got it.
So, but it's actually called Triplets. I think it's Triplets, right? Yes, it's called Triplets.
Okay.
They just opened up a few other locations now.
Gotcha.
Best wings yet. Fried. Now it's fried though.
I'm good with it. I'll take
The
it.
best
I didn't get this
fried
amazing
wings.
physique not eating fried wings, man. I worked hard on this for years.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm getting mine too. I had to ask though, just because I was like, man, I didn't bring the wheel, so I was just curious. So you like flats?
I'm a flats guy.
See,
I'll usually get both. I usually,
I try not to be too picky,
but yeah, no, man, I love wings. I wish we had more wing places in Lafayette.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got a friend that works over there at Buffalo Wild Wings. Sorry, bro. Trash. Straight trash.
Man, they don't have enough meat on the bones.
No.
They're
And
sad.
they just
Look
kinda
like the chicken looked like it hadn't had a meal. That is the only place I will go and get boneless wings because they're just too small.
Yeah.
Man,
I know
I'm
what
running
you
for
mean.
office right now. I'm gonna get in trouble for this. They're gonna say I. Have you been there since they remodeled though?
Nope.
Very nice.
Yeah?
It's very nice. It is. They did a good job with it.
I haven't been there since they remodeled. I've been to the one around Carencro. My parents live
Carencro
off
just
of 20
remodeled
Utah.
too.
Yeah, so I haven't been there. I can't mess with it.
Really? So
Yeah.
I do go often. I do.
Yeah.
And I rock with their boneless wings, but the bone-in ones, man, they just don't have enough meat on them.
I'm not feeling it.
We don't have any. I tell you, have you had the ones at KK's before though?
No, I've heard.
KK's
though.
are really good.
I heard
KK's
KK's
they're
got some
huge.
fire wings.
Oh man, and Pyro's is good too.
I heard, yes.
Pyro's is fantastic too.
Yeah.
Man. Check them out.
I'm gonna go and tell them that I'm
eat
your
local.
friend.
Eat local.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
Mike
yeah.
Mike does that too. Mike is all about local.
Yeah, KK's wings are, and Pyro's too. They're huge. They
That's
tons
what I
of meat on.
heard.
Man, they're so good.
My buddy lives in the neighborhood behind it, and he told me about it. So I'm like, okay.
No, they're very good. I'll put you on game here too. You ever ate it at La Fonda before?
Oh yeah.
You ever had their wings?
Yeah.
They're super crisp. Have you ever had Morvant's?
No.
Identical.
Not their wings. no.
Identical.
Really?
Identical. I don't know if they use the same batter, the same wing, same vendor. I don't know. But for years, a friend of mine used to work at La Fonda, so we go over there often, and most of the time just get appetizers and sit down and have a little meal. It's good.
The rabbit, the wings, the margaritas.
Margaritas good too.
Yes.
Yeah. But a friend of mine turned me on to, and I go to Morvant's all the time. I never get wings. I always get their burgers. They're fantastic. I love them. Get takeout, whatever. But one night my friend was like, man, we were texting our group message. He's like, you like La Fonda's wings? I was like, I love their wings, man. Crispy, it's seasoned well. He's like, Morvant's are carbon copy of them. So go to Morvant's, get their wings too.
Man, I'm doing that.
They're fantastic.
I had no idea because it's always been like the burgers and the crawfish.
Nope. Go get their wings. I'm telling you. Game changer.
It might not even be on the menu.
It is. It's in the appetizers.
Yeah?
So, yeah, no, that's a meal for me. I'm going to get as many as I need.
Man,
But, no,
I'm doing that.
They're delicious, though. They're good. So 3 good wing places right here in Youngsville.
Right here
Don't
in Youngsville.
even have to leave.
Y'all heard it here first, guys. I've been here 10 years and know that.
We call it within the roundabouts. You eat within the roundabouts.
Within the roundabouts. We learned so much about you and about the city of Youngsville. I want to ask this, though. What's next for Chief Cody?
Man, progress.
Yeah.
I would say that's progress is my goal. I plan on winning this election. I plan on staying in this job. I forward thinking. I want more training for our officers. I want to build up our police department, get more police officers. Open spots. We have 3 open positions, 2 open, I think, right now. So if you're in the market, you want to become a police officer, come to Youngsville Police Department. We'll put you through the academy. We have 2 guys in the academy right now. We have 1 that just finished the academy. And man, that makes my heart happy. I talked about it, I think, at the candidate forum we had the other day. It's easy, for the most part, to draw in police officers from other agencies.
Yeah.
Right? People jump ship all the time. It's kind of like the oil field some days.
Right.
They'll go for a penny more but we get some good officers. We've had some great ones come from other agencies that wanted to work with us. But when you draw in a guy that's never done it before, that's different.
Yeah.
Like because why did you choose us?
Right.
Why did you choose to work in
was
Youngsville? What was it?
Yeah.
And I think it's because we have a good city. I think it's because people have heard that, how much we progress in just a year at this police department, the culture that we're breeding and changing to make it welcoming. Youngsville as a whole loves their police officers. Our city
really do.
I love it here. And working at a sheriff's office, Lafayette Parish as a whole, we are lucky. When you see the negativity in the media about police officers and bad things that happen, and the 1% of police officers that make bad decisions, and sometimes the correct decisions they made that are twisted to look like bad decisions. Through all that happening, through the bad things and the marches on cities and burning cities, when I worked at the sheriff's office, I saw most of it because that's when those big incidents happened. Lafayette backs us. We go out into the public and our community tells us, man, we know what y'all do. We understand what y'all deal with, and we're behind you. And I just think since I've been here in Youngsville, and again, I worked the south side of town a lot at the sheriff's office, so I wasn't in Youngsville all the time. We have that here, man. They love their police department. I walk in places and people thank me and my guys, and they're always offering, food or things to my guys to help them out. That's one thing we're lucky with.
Yes.
They're always behind us. But yeah, progression, man, bringing more training in. I've said this from the beginning, I want people to want to work for Youngsville Police Department. I want people to say, I'm going there because they have what I need, just visions that I have for the police department. We have this beautiful building, the city worked with the department before I got here. I had nothing to do with this. I'm like a tenant. I just moved in.
Right.
But I told you earlier, we still have our office on 4th Street, which is an older office, just things I brainstormed that I'd love to bring later. You talked about firemen. I'd really love to, my goal later on, once I, get the selection under my belt, and hopefully the citizens want to keep me here to do better things. I'd love to get a new building there behind the one we have made, because that building's still functional, and get like a complete gym for our guys to work in, maybe incorporate the fire department in that and have a joint facility where we can train and work. Things I've seen at other agencies that I think we could minimize our cost to. A metallic building that encompasses a good part of that, because we actually have all the property, from what I'm being told, all the way back to Green Tea, that grass area behind our fence.
Yeah.
I think we just kind of maybe let them use it. They use it for the little recess area.
Yes.
And now they have the other one on the other side of the playground.
Right.
But, man, I'd love to extend that and have a training facility in there that we can, I've been to other agencies that have what's called a shoot house, which is basically, they call it that, it sounds rough, but it's really not. It's used for room clearing. You're going in, making sure, checking corners, making sure people aren't hiding when you have a burglary or an alarm that goes off.
I got you,
But if you could make some type of facility with that, keep your costs down, do a metallic building, separate it into one side being a gym, one side being that training facility. You can use it for active shooter training. You can use it for room clearing scenarios whenever you need to go into a house and check a house. You can do it with new recruits and set up domestic type call issues for training and how to deal with it. You can bring other agencies in, the multi-agency train. The sheriff's office has a multi-training facility there too, but bring people over here. We work side by side with Broussard. We're touching.
Right.
We work with these guys every day. Our guys go on calls together, and me and you can be what we call, like I said, zone partners, right? We work the same beat, we work the same area, and we feed off of each other. So when I worked with zone partners for years, we got to the point where we could go into a house, guns drawn, if we needed to make sure nobody was breaking into someone's house, and we could clear the house without even talking, without even saying a word, because we just knew how other people work. So if you create that environment where you bring these other agencies in, that you're probably going to be clearing the house with these guys at some point, and now you've trained together. So now it's second nature when you go to work together. So that's what's important. That's kind of some of the visions I have, just little things. But just to keep our city progressing, we have to progress with the times. We talked about growth all day. We have to make sure our police department's growing with our city. We have to make sure we have the appropriate number of officers to work the streets. We're keeping up with our city's growth. I think we've done a good job with that so far. I think we need to do better, and we're going to do better. But that's all super important to me.
I think you've hit it all. I think, like I said, I've been here just about a little bit less time than you, but since you've been in this role, it's been quiet, and I appreciate that, and even though some big stuff been going on, we didn't hear about it, so you guys are doing an excellent job. And I can speak for myself, but I like to say that I can speak for the citizens here of Youngsville. We would like to keep you here as well in this role, in this position. We appreciate everything you've done for us so far, everything you've done for us in the past, for Louisiana, and we would like to see you, continue to do what we expect, and what you like to do here. So for that, I appreciate you. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for the time.
Absolutely.
All the information you've given us. And if you want to reach out to him, you know where to find him, in this nice, beautiful office. So just reach out to him. You can find him on social media as well. And he'll reach back out to you. So, but with that, thank you. Thank you, Chief.
I appreciate your time.
Man. Yes.
It's important.
Look, this is Tim. This is Chief Cody. Signing out. We'll see you on the next one.
Have a good one. Thank you, guys.
All right, man. Yes.
Man, that was great.
Yes.
I loved it.
That was good. You're very informative with everything.
Hey, guys. This is Chief Cody Louviere with Youngsville Police Department. You were here today with us with Louisiana on Fire. I am running for election to continue being your police chief, continue doing great things for our city. Don't forget, early voting starts October 18th, and Election Day is November 5th. Go out and exercise your right to vote, and let's get some good people in these positions in office to further our city and our country and just make everything better for everybody. Thank you.
What's up, Louisiana? Thanks for watching another episode of Louisiana on Fire. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Oh, and don't forget to hit that bell so you can be notified for the next episode.